Hello my planner pals and welcome back, and if you're new here then thank you for joining me and giving me a try. My name is Di, I am here at Creative Comedy Design. Today, as you can see, I am doing my one little word for June. I always have to think about that because I do it so late in the month lately. But yeah, this is June, and the June prompt was to think about companion words for our word of the year. Now, I always have used companion words. I know some people don't, but sometimes they are like the runner-up words that I use for my word, like the ones that I was thinking about using as my main word, kind of. And sometimes they are just completely different. But some of the words that I've chosen as like companion or anchor words, or I often think of them as word friends. They're the friends of my word. They're related sometimes, and sometimes they're like an expansion. They're like almost like a description of the word. So yeah, it was all about companion words. Now the big tag that you can see here, I resized to fit in my 5.5 by 8.5 album, but this was in the one little word kit. I will say I had a couple of printer issues when I was printing out this stuff. So I had this one, this big tag, and then I had, you'll see in a second, a page full of little tags. My idea is I'm going to create a little pocket on the bottom of that big tag, shove all the little tags inside of it, and then call that done. So what I found was when I printed it, my printer had a bit of a meltdown, wouldn't connect to my computer, then wouldn't connect to the internet. I've had this a couple of times now. And then when it printed in black and white for everything. Now, the big tag is black and white. The little tags are not. They have supposedly color in them. So I'm like, I'm not printing them again. We're just going to go with it. So I've put some of this number paper. This is from the paper pack that I bought earlier this year. I think it was this year. It could have been last year. I can't remember. But yeah, this is a paper pack that I bought from, I want to say I think it was Joann's. And it just made sense because I have these, funnily enough, I've just realized that actually goes up to 7. That is hilarious because that is a number of tags that I've used. I've only just noticed that. That is so funny. So I've got some vellum. I'm going to make a little vellum pocket. So this is the page of tags. Again, these should be in different colors, like a muted tan, some, yeah. But again, my printer, and I'm like, I'm not printing them out again. I'm just not. I'm going to use what I have, and that means that I use the black and white, and that is fine. So I'm going to cut all of those out, and I did some of it with my paper trimmer, as you saw, and I'm going to do some of it with my scissors. I don't get too fancy, but my idea here is I've got tags that are what I would call decorative, and then some that have a little box, like a journaling box on them. And I'm going to put my journaling inside those boxes and layer them back to back so that I've got a decorative side and a journaling side to put in a little pocket that I will create later. So that is the plan. And I got this idea because Ali did something similar. Ali Edwards did something similar. And I just thought it just made sense because I didn't feel like they needed their own page individually, and I just wanted a reminder of what my anchor words were, and I will go over what my anchor words are in a second. So yeah, and this is the thing that I will say, don't get stuck on your first idea. Like, again, I've got 7 here. I did not notice that number paper has 7. So I'm going to adhere the little tags back to back, and just so that they're kind of decorative on one side and then journaling on the other. And they've got a little hole in the tags, and I know that I wanted to put some kind of ribbon or something through them, and I do eventually. And the whole time I'm doing this, I'm actually talking to Rini from the Enchanted Planner. So we were literally just talking back and forth. And this is one of the reasons that I don't do like a follow along with me for this very often. Because sometimes I just need to like turn off and just create. So yeah, and I may start putting more content up like this where I just do the voiceover afterwards, because sometimes I just want to play. I just want to play and create and make it more fun. And not that it's not fun when I'm talking, but you know, your brain is doing two things. It's holding a conversation and it's creating. And that's hard. That's what I will say. That's hard. So it turns out that I had an extra tag. So, and this that you see here, this is the packaging from the One Little Word kit from last year. I think it was the One Little Word kit. I think it was. This is the envelope packaging. That is the one thing, and I've said this before, when you buy something from Ali Edwards, the packaging is just phenomenal. Like, you can use it to do other projects and stuff like that. Like, I freaking love her packaging. So I've got some vellum out of my stash. I'm going to get some red line tape, figure out where I want this pocket to be. And I just mark that, putting the red line tape on. And red line tape, if you've not used it before, is a very, very sticky adhesive. And you'll see that it's red, but the adhesive is actually clear. And you'll see that in a second. But it is just a very, very, very sticky adhesive. Like, if you're using chipboard or something like that, it's the thing to use. Because that sucker is going nowhere. It is going nowhere. I did have an issue getting the plastic covering off, but that's a me problem. But yeah, that is going nowhere with red line tape. And that's why I love using red line tape, because it ain't going nowhere. So we've got this little vellum pocket, and I like that because you can see it but not see it. And the vellum I actually bought from Amazon. I will link it in the description. I've used it to print on. I've used it for projects like this, and yeah, it's great. So this is where I kind of, yep, all those tags fit in there. So I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with that top, because the big tag has a hole in it, because these are the images from the kit. There is a physical kit that Ali does, and these are just the images from the kit. I do end up putting something over that, the big tag hole, and because I'm like, I don't want a hole there. I don't want something hanging out of my folder. So, and that's just me. That's just a me thing. So I go and look at my words, which are in my journaling online, and I've got yes, curiosity, glimmer. I've got happy/fun/vibe, because they're all kind of the same to me. Play, create, and try, they're all the same. Open and free, space, and balance. And I'm just going to put those on the tags. As a couple of them don't have like journaling spaces, I create some using the cardstock, the like leftover cardstock from the tag printables. And this is what I will say as well. Sorry, I didn't mention that all of the tags as well are all printables from the kit. So you can get the physical version that Ali gives you, that Ali sends you if you want the physical version, or you can have the digital version for free. So the free digital version you get with the class, and the class was like, if you've not done it before, the class is $50. If you've done it before, there's usually like $5 off. I struggle here getting the tag through that thick cardstock, like getting the hole punch through the thick cardstock. And I'm like, mostly it's because I'm so hot. Like, my hands are just sweating. Still have not fixed the air conditioning. Again, like, everyone's air conditioning is failing right now. So yeah, we only have air conditioning in a couple of rooms. So funnily enough, it went through the big thing fine, but I could get all my weight down on that. Although it did kind of jam a little bit, but I had to, again, that's a little trick. You just go in through the bottom and just poke it a little bit and everything's fine. So my tags are punched. My big tag is punched. I've got the pocket. So now comes all the journaling. So I start doing the journaling, and again, I've got yes as one of my words and glimmer. And those are my two, I'm going to call them my main companion words, yes and glimmer. So yes is basically, when I chose good last year, or when good chose me, is because when I was training Cosmo, I kept saying good, yes, good, yes, good, yes. And it just became like one of those words that I didn't realize I said so often. And I do the same with Stella, and I do the same for myself. Like, oh, that was a good job I did that. Yeah, good job, Di. Like, I have no idea how much I said the word good. And glimmer is basically the opposite of a trigger. It's like taking the time to notice those small moments of joy and happiness and the good things in the everyday. It's not like the big thing, because that's what we think of when we think of good. We think of the big things, and it could just be the little things. It could just be the little things. I got to sleep in 15 minutes longer than I normally do today. That was good. Like, it's the little tiny things. So the other words I've got are curiosity, and curiosity is basically, it's one of those words that I've nearly chosen on previous years, curious or curiosity, and it's basically seeing where is the good. It's being open, again, open. These are all words that kind of run together, and open is also one of the words that was a contender for 2024. I'm writing here about good being happy and fun and a vibe. Like, if something is good, you know about it, right? And I'm just checking them off the list here as I'm writing about them so that I don't put two in the tags and then end up with something left over. I've got open and free. Again, just providing space for the good, providing space for the good, being open to seeing it. Again, that comes back to glimmer. So all of these are kind of connected words, but they all needed their own space to be in this project. And then I'm looking at the tags that I've got left over. Again, I'm just looking at them. I've got one that is play, create, and that is where I find my good vibes, is in playing and creating. And I keep saying this about Project Life and One Little Word, but I'm really enjoying the projects that are not planner projects this year. Like, I'm really, really thoroughly enjoying those. And I skipped a little bit of the thing here because I just didn't realize that I wasn't filming and that it had stopped. But I've got balance, and that is something that I will be exploring. And that might be something that I don't share, but I need to explore the balance of good versus bad. It's something that I knew was going to happen this year. So I'm going to work on that as a personal project, is what I will say. So this is where I realized that I've actually journaled on the wrong side on one of the tags. So I put a little sticker over that and called that good. Stickers come in so handy, so handy. So I'm looking for something fun to go over the big blank bit on some of the decorative stickers. And I found some quote stickers. So I just thought, let's just use those. So I'm like, yep, we're just going to use those. You know that I love me some quote stickers. So just using those to put on the blank areas, because I felt like everything else had something. And then I go back into my stash looking for something to cover up the big hole on the top of the big tag. And I find some stickers in the line that would match. And I ended up using a couple of smaller ones and kind of layering them. One of them was one of the tombstone type stickers. And I'm like, I kind of like that, but it needs something now to cover up the white because it looks kind of blank. And for some reason, I was drawn to this design on the stickers. So yeah, so I just covered up that little bit. I considered using the extra bit, but I just, no, that can be maybe the good and the bad project for next time. So this is where I almost left it. And was like, yeah, I'll just deal with the holes, and I'll come back and put the ribbon or whatever in later. And then I went into my stash and I found some of the brown, like the tan color and the white. And I'm like, that's all I have right now, and we're just going to use that. But I did do it like thinner. I cut it thinner and then just literally wrapped a little bit around each one and then called it done. Called it done. Again, like, that's all it needs to finish the project. And I'm going to say again, this is the stuff that I'm really missing over the last few years, is just using stuff like this using my paper punches, using cardstock, using vellum, using my red line tape, using ribbon and stuff like this. Like, I'm really loving the tactile aspect of it and having something, when I look back at it, to pull out and open and flip up and flip out. And this may be making an appearance in my journals in future, is what I will say, for next year. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year. So yeah, just finishing off those, putting the last little bits in, and that is my one little word for June. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, then give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you next time, my planner pals. Bye!